What's up, everyone? Today on this episode of Dirtgenics Garage, we're going to be putting this in that. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody. To update you, Jeep is now running. I have done a couple other things I'll show you here in a few minutes. One of the things was I went to redo the sway bar links because they were torn up and just in really poor condition. Every time I went over any kind of bump or turned a corner, you could hear it clicking and cracking and creaking. So I went ahead and just started to change that out. In the process of changing it out, I broke off one of the nuts and ended up having to just delete the entire sway bar because I've got other things that need to be taken care of first. So let's get after it. First, you got to remove the tire. In my case, this is calling for a 19mm socket. Here we go. Now that we got our wheel off, we come in, we're going to start taking this caliper here off. Looks like it's in pretty bad shape. After that, pull off the rotor, which I'm going to have to get in here and remove this wheel adapter. Maybe a spacer. Not sure. Either way, this has to come off too. Okay, it looks like this is actually a wheel adapter. It goes from 5 on 4.5 to 5 on 5.5. So, you're running aftermarket wheels and you need different back spacing. This is one way to go. I personally would have just gotten the correct wheel with the correct back spacing on it. I digress. Moving on. Alright, next up we got to take these two bolts out right here. These are the slide pins for your caliper. This will allow us to take the caliper off of the bracket. Then after that, we're going to remove the bracket. Then we can take the rotor off. So, for your two caliper slide pins, it's going to be a, in my case, 7mm hex head, Allen head socket. You can use an Allen wrench, whatever you got. If somebody knows the actual size, let me know, because this does feel a little loose in there. I'm thinking maybe it may be standard. Because half the stuff on this Jeep is standard. I'm not really sure why. Looks like Dodge Chrysler decided they were going to do half and half on these. A lot of you guys out there that are looking to get a Jeep, just keep that in mind. You're going to want to have both standard and metric tools to be able to take care of this. I know on a lot of the newer ones, they've gone to full metric, so you shouldn't have to worry about it. But it is what it is. And just if you're wondering, yeah, it's cold. Had the shock heater going for a good while. Got it up to about 50 degrees in here. But I got to turn it off to be able to record, because you can't hear anything with this thing going. Not to mention it's right behind you. Big jet heater. There we go. Okay. So once you get these out far enough to where they're going to clear, just pull up from the bottom and it slides right off. That is nasty. Oh, that's nasty. Yep. Let's cut that off. somewhere to prop it up. I'm going to go get a hanger. That is hanging. Those were good and wore down. Front wasn't very bad. Let's see how bad backs were. Backs on this side weren't terrible either. Not in good condition. Now for the fun part. Massaging, figure it out. That rotor is definitely something. Replace it. Okay, so we got these out, ready to get clean. Clean these, we're going to use a little bit of brake cleaner. Just put this in here. You don't have to hold it real tight, it's just so you don't drop it. Make sure you, if you feel better, kind of grip it by the end here where there's no threads. That way you're not going to risk messing the threads up on these. So we're going to go outside, spray this off, and then we'll be ready to grease it. Alright, now we're all cleaned up. No more dirt, no more grease. There wasn't much grease on there to begin with. So we're going to grease these up and go ahead and put the brakes back together. For our caliper grease, we're using this ceramic extreme parts lubricant. You can get this at Napa. I'm sure you can find it at O'Reilly's, any auto parts store. As long as it's a ceramic grease, it won't harden and crack and get all nasty. I think you got the purple stuff out, there's some red stuff, and I think even the one that has replaced this, I believe, is an orange color. But let's get after it. Alright, we're ready to put everything back together. Start with our rotor. Slides on just like that. And since we have a wheel spacer, we're going to take advantage of that. Put that back on, and that'll hold our rotor in place. And we don't have to worry about it falling off or moving while we're trying to put the caliper back on. Alright, just like that, we got a different rotor on here. Come to find out, the rotor that I did have on here had a much thinner hat area. I'll put a picture up here to compare the two, but the rotor that I had gotten originally had a 1/4 inch thick hat, whereas the original had a 1/2 inch thick hat. And these are just rough guesstimates, but that's about what I could see on the tape measure. But the problem I ran into is when I put the old rotor on, it would catch on the back of the steering knuckle here. And when I zip that wheel spacer down, it actually grabbed a hold of it and you weren't able to rotate this at all. But now, no noise, everything clears, and we can proceed putting everything back together. Also, the brake pads looked completely different. They had little spring catches on here that fit inside the piston, and the other one had a couple of fingers that would grab the outside of the caliper. Turned out those were for a 1990 and up Cherokee. This is a 1990 Cherokee, but it has the brakes and the steering and everything off of the 89 and earlier models, which was AMC owned. After 90, everything went to Chrysler. So keep that in mind. If you got one of those with real close to the split gear, it's a hassle, but I would definitely take this stuff off first and make sure it's the same, so you don't have to go to the parts store twice. But I digress. Here we go. When you're putting your brake pads on, make sure you get the right pad on the right side. For instance, ours, you can see, one is bigger than the other. This one here that's smaller, that's going to go on the inside of the vehicle. This is the side that goes against the piston. Other side that goes towards the wheel. Definitely want to make sure you pay attention because they will go on either way. Backing plates are the same size. Alright, that's going to be it for today. We showed you how to change out rotors and pads on your old Cherokee. If you liked the video, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and if you want to get in touch with me, I'm at DirtGenixGarage on Instagram. Take care. We'll see you in the next one.